The Observation Deck by J.L.G. Chapter 1. The Architecture of Silence. Moving to Blackwood Creek felt like starting over. After what happened at Elias's old firm, the thing they never talked about. The peaceful suburbs seemed like a refuge. Elias thought some space would help him put his career back together, while Claire hoped that getting away from it all would give them both a chance to heal. Their new house was a mid-century modern, all glass walls and cedar beams, sharp corners, tucked deep in a valley where your phone lost service a mile before you reached the driveway. "It's a clean slate, Claire," Elias had said, sliding the heavy steel key across the granite island. But the house didn't feel fresh and new. It felt like it was waiting for something. Instead of buzzing with life, there was a weird, clinical stillness, like in a lab. On the third day, Claire spotted the first glitch. She was vacuuming the master bedroom when she noticed a pin-sized hole in the cedar ceiling. It was too perfectly round to be just a knot in the wood. Curious and uneasy, she dragged over a chair, climbed up, and peered inside. No insulation, just the faint metallic gleam of a wide-angle camera lens. She kept it to herself. Elias was already on edge, holed up in his basement office for 18 hours a day, obsessively working on his portfolio, desperate for some sense of control after everything at the firm. Instead of bringing it up, Claire bought a thermal imaging lens, convinced she needed to protect herself. That night she scanned the bedroom. On the screen, the room looked eerie, blues and purples everywhere. But in the ceiling corner, something tiny glowed white-hot, drawing power. It was alive. Chapter 2. The Mirror Friend. Isolation made Claire's mind fertile ground for weeds. She found a distraction in Sarah, a neighbor who arrived clutching a bottle of Malbec and wearing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "I saw your moving truck," Sarah said, stepping inside without waiting for a response. "And I noticed you on the patio yesterday. Was Elias being difficult again?" Sarah quickly became a regular part of Claire's days, but the friendship started to feel strange. Sarah seemed to copy Claire on purpose. First wearing the same mauve lipstick Claire liked, then showing up in the exact Japanese denim jacket Claire had just bought. Claire couldn't help but wonder if Sarah really wanted to be friends, or if she was trying to get too close for some other reason. One rainy Thursday, Claire found Sarah in her bedroom. She wasn't moving. She stared at the pinhole camera in the ceiling, her face lit by a flash of lightning. "It's for your protection, Claire," Sarah whispered, her voice a perfect copy of Claire's. "Men like Elias need to be monitored." Chapter 3. The Basement Files. The next evening, nerves buzzing, Claire waited until Elias left for one of his rare trips to the store. She grabbed a credit card and jimmied open the lock on his basement desk. Inside was a missing persons report for a woman named Sarah Jenkins. The grainy black and white photo made Claire's blood turn to ice. It was Sarah. But the report stated Sarah Jenkins had vanished from a home in Oregon in 2004. Tucked behind the report was a private investigator's log addressed to Elias. The last entry was dated only a week before they moved. Target located. The subject is mimicking local patterns. Proximity achieved. Elias wasn't running from his past. He was chasing it. As Claire rushed out of the basement, she glanced at Elias's second computer monitor. It showed a grid of camera feeds. One of them was the house next door, Sarah's house. Only in the camera. Claire descended the steps into the basement the following night, hammer in hand. The door creaked open, revealing Elias. Slumped in his chair, his mouth taped shut and his wrists zip-tied. Sarah stood behind him, resting her hands on his shoulders. "He's got a real talent for systems, Claire," she said. "He tracked your sleep, even timed your heart rate with sensors in the mattress. It's almost poetic, in a twisted way." "Let him go," Claire whispered. Sarah turned a dial on the console, pulling up folders. Sarah, 1998. Elena, 2005. Claire, present. "He doesn't want a wife, Claire. He wants someone he can predict and control. He builds these glass cages just to see how long it takes someone to crack. I didn't crack. I just disappeared for a while. I'm here to blow up his plan and keep you safe." Sarah pressed a button, triggering a siren. "I've uploaded his archive to the FBI, and since the cameras show you holding a weapon and him restrained, well, the police are going to have a lot of questions." Sarah vanished through a hidden escape hatch, leaving Claire in the screaming light of the sirens. Chapter 5. The Mirror's Edge. But then, the air shifted. The sirens faded. The basement was suddenly immaculate, silent save for the hum of an air purifier. Elias was sitting at his desk, perfectly free, sipping coffee. "Claire, put the hammer down," Elias said quietly. "You're feeling disconnected. Remember what the doctor called it? The intruder." "I saw Sarah," Claire gasped. Elias tapped a key. The video showed Claire sitting at the kitchen island yesterday with 2 glasses of wine poured. She was laughing and gesturing to an empty stool. She picked up a bottle of mauve lipstick and applied it with trembling hands, staring into the empty air where she believed a friend was sitting. "There isn't any Sarah," Elias said. "The house isn't a prison. It's somewhere for you to get better. I watch your vitals so I know if you're having a panic attack. The cameras are there so I can make sure you're safe if things get bad." Claire looked down at the hammer. She looked up at the pinhole camera, finally understanding. The eye wasn't watching her to judge. It was watching her to make sure she was still there. Epilogue. The residue of doubt. The police had left and the drywall had been patched. Claire sat on the sofa while Elias brought tea. He was the savior, she was the patient. Or so she told herself. But that afternoon, while Elias was out, Claire had found a mauve lipstick on the counter. Inside the tube was a tiny high-density flash drive. She hadn't told him. She had hidden it in the lining of her shoe. As the sun dipped below the mountains, Claire saw a tiny rhythmic flash of red. Not from the ceiling, but from the reflection in Elias's glasses. The house was still watching. Whether patient or prisoner, the game was the same. She closed her eyes and leaned on his shoulder. "I love you, Elias," she said. "I know, Claire," he replied. "I've seen it."